Hello, welcome back, everybody. How are you all? It's been a while. I've had some internet issues that have now hopefully been more or less resolved. They're not fully resolved, but I got a better Wi-Fi stick donated by a nice person and therefore can now stream. Also, guess who's in the chat? Mesh is here. Hola! Hotex is also here, and a few others, and we're gonna continue playing Night Call. I almost said Night Taxi. Night Call. Today, after I have adjusted my lighting, because I don't like how it looks right now. Do you like it? I don't like it. So let's see what we can do about that. Maybe not that. Maybe this is a bit too blue. Maybe more like this. Or like this. We'll just stick to this right now because it fits with the banner down there. Also, hi to any new followers watching tonight. And with that, let's get going. Or let's get back to it. It's been a few weeks, so we'll see. I remember we were on that case, like you just said, the judge. And we did 2 nights, I think. By the way, audio good? Am I loud enough? Is the game loud enough? You open one eye. For a second there, you hoped the evidence board was just a dream too, but you can make it out in the shadows. Sound good? Okay, great. So night 3, and I remember discovering last time around that I can only get through so many pieces of evidence per night, so I'm gonna have to watch out for what I want to look at, because the first night I could just look at everything I had, so that's gonna be interesting. And I think the eyes are informants, if I remember correctly. So let's go there first for the night. Hi, Marcos. Wait, did I just miss something? Hi, Allred, welcome back. Okay, so that didn't do anything? Still have enough gas, I think. So, how about we pick up, an unknown stranger. Or, none of these people look familiar. I don't think any of them are in my file, so I'm just gonna pick up somebody who's handsome. You're driving along when a strange burnt smell suddenly fills the cab. You look around, sniff. Is it coming from outside? Why does it do the taxi symbol? Does that mean that something interesting is gonna happen? Hi, Gleds. Hey, Katya, everything good with the floods in your area? Thank you so much for asking. I'm lucky enough to not have been affected at all. I'm not in an area that experienced any flooding, luckily. But yeah, very lucky. As soon as you see a free spot, you pull over and park. You freeze. Something or someone is in your taxi. Ugh. A woman's voice resonates around the cab. I need a better signal. Girl, you have pixelated things in your face. I'm here. You turn around slowly. A young woman has appeared behind you. Don't shout. I'm afraid I'll lose the connection. I don't have much time. There's something strange about her face. It's as if she is several different people at once. Listen to me carefully. I come from the future, and you must know that you met... She stops moving, like a computer glitch. Oh, that's why she looks pixelated. This is weird. She stays this way, still, frozen. Don't you just hate when your passengers start buffering? Then she suddenly starts moving again. The extremists. Totally crazy. Some try to get a hold of anything remotely technological only to destroy it. They've gathered heaps of screens, keyboards, lamps to burn them. The fires last for days. The sky... Some days the sky is filled with toxic soot. Black ash. She shrugs. I'm lucky, I guess. I can remember what it was like before. The children, though, I feel most sorry for them. They're so lifeless. Sad. She looks at you. You looked surprised, but the image of her flickers, shakes. She raises her head to speak to someone outside the cab. What? They're getting closer? I don't know if I can stay much longer. I have to tell you one more thing. A few days ago, we got our hands on some newspapers from your time. She looks down. Everything we read seemed trivial, and it felt so good. We laughed about it even though deep down, I miss those debates, stories, the editorials. She lowers her voice. Especially the horoscopes. She doesn't say anything for a few seconds. You wanted to tell me something? Let's just act casual. Sure, somebody zapped themselves into the back of my taxi from the future. But yeah, I mean, focus on the main thing here. Tell you something. Her face lights up. Yes. While we were reading through newspapers, we found some crucial information related to your investigation. She closes her eyes. Now don't try to... I can't tell you much. But I need you to write down what I'm about to say. She disappears. A few seconds go by, and she doesn't come back. Hello? No answer. Silence reigns in the cab. Terrifying silence. Only now do you notice a strange smell floating in your taxi. A hospital smell. Lost the connection. Yeah, can totally relate to that. Signal isn't good here. I mean, let's explore this. This is one of the most interesting things that's happened, and it's not immediately life-threatening right now. You park as soon as you find a free spot. You attempt to get a hold of yourself. The radio starts to crackle. Despite the interference, you make out the young woman's voice. I'm sorry. I can't come back. You hear someone scream in the background. They're taking our antenna apart. Shit. Watch the files. Not those, Raz. The other ones. Her voice sounds far away for a minute, then closer again. We had enough time to send you something. I don't know if it could be of any help, but it's under the seat. That's a stupid question. Try to change stations. Your fingers turn the knob. The young woman's voice becomes more distant, gets closer, disappears, then comes back for a few more words. Under the seat! Her voice suddenly stops. The radio starts playing like usual again. You turn your eyes to the passenger seat. How could she possibly have put something under the seat? Plus, you had the car washed. If you had... Look under the seat. You lean over towards the passenger seat. You feel around, and your fingers happen upon a file folder. You pull it out slowly. Scribbled on front in thick pencil are the words, "Thank you, J." You open it up. A newspaper clipping. The paper is yellowed, worn. At the top of the article, a date. The date is 2 years from now. You stop breathing as you start reading the clipping. Hey, we have 10 people in here right now. Hi, player's choice. I knew it says Barack Obama. Yeah, right? Damn signals. Okay, let's read the clipping. ... You inhale, you smile. This will help you. Alright. Guess we'll find out tonight. And I didn't pick up the handsome guy. Alright, I guess you win some, you lose some. Oh, that's the poet. Is that a monkey? Let's pick up the monkey. Hugo Delaney. Now he doesn't look so monkey-like anymore. But what is that on his head? Is he wearing a helmet? Or bunny ears? Okay, well, we'll see. Hugo Delaney. Gambetta! Sure, man. Totally. What voice should we give him? Yeah, it actually is wearing bunny ears. Okay. Ah, shit, man. Your next passenger is holding a bow, which he inadvertently pokes in his eye while getting into the taxi. Great, it's another drunk person. He leaps into the back seat and looks at you with a lost expression on his face. I'm supposed to be at the Gambetta bus station in less than 15 minutes. Your seatbelt. You run the first red light you come across. With a little luck, you'll get the kid to his bus. You see him moping behind you. Okay, his shirt is a monkey, though. He's a monkey bunny monkey. A bunky. Shit, was it really that hard to be on time, bro? You shit stain. You can't miss this bus. You just can't, man. Everything okay? Yeah, okay, this might sound a little crazy, but what do you think of my Gravia outfit? Gravia? Hello, hi Hovering Headwear. Yeah, it's a race and a game. The bow, the helmet, the armor, you know, all that shit. It's very nice, dear. It's a costume? A cosplay, not a costume. It's serious business. I'm not sure cosplayers think that, but anyway. He sighs heavily and droops his head. Shit, all this for a chick. I'm so into her. I even started playing her favorite game, Lost Legend V, to make her like me, but I look like a moron. So here's the thing, guys. Don't do things because somebody you like likes them. Do them because you enjoy them. Otherwise, you feel like a moron. He looks at the time on the meter. You think we'll get there on time? Yeah, I'll make it happen. Are all taxi drivers as cool as you? You smile in turn. I have a question for you. You ever done anything like this for a chick? Oh yeah, I definitely did some stupid stuff. Much stupider than dressing up. It's not dressing up. It's cosplay. He turns his bow over. This cosplay is for a convention? Yeah, in Belgium. There'll be thousands of cosplayers. It's pretty legit. Will there be a lot of graviers? Gravias. Whoops, totally slipped through the voices there. No, I don't think so. They're popular, but the costume is daring. You gotta flash your abs at everyone all weekend. Oh, it's a cutout shirt. Man, I'm discovering the nuances of this costume minute by minute. Good luck with that. Thanks. He glances at the meter. Are we almost there? Right about now. That's totally a lie. You park in front of the bus station. Your passenger pays his fare and pockets his change. Hey, thanks. He gets out of the cab. I'm never gonna remember all of these voices. He gets out of the cab. His bow gets caught in the door and snaps back in his eye. Jesus. One of the mods, can you free that comment? Twitch sorted out a comment unfairly. Jesus fucking, this shit's dangerous. A second later, he's running for his bus, his bow slung across his back. Cool. I don't think that did anything for me. I mean, it is cool. Met a cosplayer. There he is again. Let's pick up him. Let's pick up him then. Only do stuff bringing you joy? Okay, no more doing the laundry for me anymore, I guess. Well, I don't think doing the laundry is a hobby, is it? I'd like to meet the person who does that. Well, I personally enjoy doing the dishes and doing the laundry and yeah. That would be really handy though. Anyway, Phil Bourgeois. Charles de Gaulle, make it snappy. No, he's not gonna tip anything, is he? The passenger who settles into the back seat could be a male model. He asks you to take him to Charles de Gaulle Airport. His voice is mild and pleasant. You sense your passenger wants to talk about the killer. It's simple. How do you sense that? How do you sense something so specific? It's simple. Since the first murder, everyone thinks they know something. Everyone thinks they saw something. And this passenger is no exception. You watch him in the rearview mirror as he adjusts his clothes, checks his breath, obviously primping. You drive people to the airport all the time. They bring along a suitcase or a bouquet of flowers. Your passenger doesn't have either. He smells of questions, I'm sure, yeah. Or answers, rather. He's looking at himself in the rearview mirror. His lips part, and he runs his tongue over his teeth. Oh, man. Okay, so mild and gentle. Nothing stuck in my teeth, right? You shake your head no. You wonder why he's going to the airport. You're wondering why I'm going to the airport, aren't you? Yes. I could tell you were curious. I'll tell you, but it's a secret. His voice has changed, as if he were about to deliver a speech. Women today are too smart for us men. Too smart. They're onto us the minute we try to hit on them. Hey, it's Zombie Flesh Cult. Good evening, good evening. And he can read your mind too? Yeah. Maybe this guy is a vampire. Or something. He crinkles his nose as if there were a bad smell in the cab. Probably the smell of questions. There are dozens, mild and gentle. There are dozens of books on how to get lucky, on how to score, but they all make the same big mistake. Do you know what the mistake I'm talking about is? Is this guy like a pickup coach or something? I mean... They're stupid? You probably haven't read the right ones. Your comment clearly isn't going to stop him. He carries on, business as usual. Let me clarify. All those books about hitting on women never tell you where the best hunting grounds are. A theatrical pause. Airports. Another theatrical pause. It's brilliant, right? Oh, look at the smile. So artificial in several ways. Don't let him try it. It's brilliant, right? Women in airports are lonely, emotional, and available. Really? Is that how it goes? I hadn't noticed. On the street, they're always in a hurry, don't have any time. At the movies or in museums, they don't want to be disturbed. Right, but when I'm rushing to my plane, sweaty, and worried about handing in my bag at the right counter, I'm definitely there to flirt. On the street. Okay, whatever. Let's see where he's going with this. But at the airport, he's clearly very proud of himself. You remain silent. He crinkles his nose and sniffs again. Is it me or is there a funny smell in your cab? You sniff too. Sorry, I don't smell anything. He shrugs, then goes back to his monologue. Personally, I prefer older women. Just let him know. Single moms who are at the airport to pick up or send their kids to their exes. They are waiting at the unaccompanied minor's counter to get information about a late flight or a gate change. I walk over to the counter, look at the flight information, pretend to be worried. My sister, I say. I'm waiting for my little sister. She's never been to Paris before. I'm going to take her to the Louvre. She wants to work in fashion someday. She's already very talented. I hope everything's okay, that she had a good flight. She means the world to me. She's my half-sister, but I love her like a sister. A smile. He takes another sniff, glances around the cab, then picks up where he left off. The half-sister line, it works every time. Divorced parents, remarried, every time. He bursts out laughing. Oh, he's so charming. Oh my god. He's so hot. A word of advice, though. You have to get there early. Make a day of it. Keep an eye on the domestic flights, the delays, the companies. It requires a little preparation, but I usually go home with 20, even 30 numbers. In 6 hours. Not bad, eh? Oh, another thing. I wouldn't recommend Orly. The counters are a disaster there. You have to go back and forth between the different levels. It's exhausting. And the neon lights, they ruin your eyes. No, Roissy is definitely the way to go. The domestic flights terminal. Oh, really? Hi, Shalag. What, oh, really? Oh, Orly. Oh my god. He rubs his hands together. I can feel it. Today is my lucky day. It's going to be amazing. I'm really surprised he didn't say legendary. They're going to fall from me big time. You can't resist. You give a slight cough and say, "Excuse me, do you mind if I ask you a personal question?" No, of course, not at all. Anything to help you understand my game plan. Man, these characters are really like, in German you'd say plakativ, like they're really in your face. With like, this person has their head in the clouds and is a writer. This person is a conservative in all caps, and this guy is, well, a pickup artist. Anything to help you understand my game plan. I'm not gonna get a tip, but I really want to say this one. Cause men, you gotta be there to put other men in line. So are we that guy, or do we just try to get our tip? Cause we're not gonna change him anyway. Well, this sounds like I have sympathy for him, which I don't. And this one I don't really care about. Do you realize you're a total asshole? Oh, but can you drive into Orly instead? I think Orly is a part of Charles de Gaulle, if I'm understanding that right, but I've never been to the airport, so I don't know. A cerise? That's no way to treat other people. Oh, we're talking about scoring here. No need to get all worked up. It's not like anyone died or anything. Right, I thought we sensed that he wanted to talk about the murders. There is a slight tremor in his voice. If they don't want to give me their number, they don't give me their number. I never insist. And a lot of guys do stuff like that. Do stuff that is a lot worse, right? So enough of the feminist bullshit theory. Oh yeah, I just got an achievement. Le pick-up artiste. The cab pulls up to the drop-off point. Your passenger pays the fare in a hurry. He climbs out of the cab, then turns around, somewhat hesitant. To be perfectly honest, you shouldn't talk to your passengers like that. His voice takes on an unpleasant, whining tone. It's not very professional. If I had an app, I'd give you a bad rating. He squares his shoulders and is about to walk off. And you should wash your cab too. It smells like shit. He walks away. Doing this. Under the sole of his right shoe, you catch sight of a dark brown spot. Oh, look at that! He's a literal shit heel. The passenger disappears into the airport. You roll down the backseat window and start up the cab. Yeah, well. No tip. Saw that one coming. Okay, so this is our buddy boy, who might have seen additional things. Oh, do I have enough gas for this? Now let's try it. Tip and a 5-star rating. I mean, I would have given me that. 2 women are leaning against a balcony just above your head. They're smoking a joint. They're... Okay. Imagine trying to chat up women with poo on your show, expert mode. True, if you can pull that one off. Hello! Hi, Anacorus. Welcome back. Weren't you last here when I played Monkey Island? No, I think after that as well, right? But yeah, it's been a while. Welcome back. Pierrot Bata, I'm too drunk to drive. Sure. I don't know. Did I pick him up before? You pull up in front of the address the central office gave you. A crepe joint. Quite a popular one by the looks of the lines spilling up the door and onto the sidewalk. Oh, and in the early morning as well. Lock this guy up. He's possibly the murderer, so better play it safe. Yeah, true. Oh man, that's a good point, Shalag. We totally should have taken him in. You never know. You sit for a moment. The door opens and a group of 30-somethings comes into view. All the men and women are dressed alike. Sporty, running shoes, jeans, small shoulder bags. They're officers from the Paris Anti-Crime Squad in plainclothes. You sigh. They're brutish types. Ones who like to raise, tackle, clobber. That's when I found you, but I followed a couple more games. Oh yeah. Ones who ruined the afternoons you spent wandering around Paris in your teens. After a bit, one of them pulls away from the group and comes over to your taxi. He opens the door and collapses into the back seat. Oh yeah, right, one of them is a cop. I forgot about that. He opens the door and collapses onto the back seat. Oh, I already read that. He's stocky and of Asian descent. You can see his muscles through his thick winter clothes. He smells like crepe and hard cider, and his face is bright red. Well, that still means he smells better than the last guy. Hey, what's up? I live near town. He chuckles as one of his colleagues rushes over to the taxi and pulls an imaginary gun from his coat. He points to his badge and screams at you with a big smile on his face. Ha! Funny. What a douchebag! The other cop eventually backs off, and you drive away. Sorry, man. We were having a going away party for a colleague. And celebrating Christmas, too. No worries. Your passenger smiles, then puts his fingers back on his temples. Oh, I drank too much. Shit. I'm a lightweight and they knew it. I think they were trying to loosen my tongue. His behavior changes abruptly, like he's just seen a ghost. One question. Yes? Do you taxi drivers have some sort of policy or ethics code? Not sure I understand. Like priests or doctors. If I tell you something, can you keep it to yourself? You start speaking before you even have a chance to reply. I've been lying to my colleagues for years. I joined the squad 8 years ago and they all think I'm in a relationship with a woman who lives in Strasbourg. And that we're gonna get married. He makes a strange yelping noise like an air bubble bursting on the surface of a river. Or? What? An air bubble bursting on the... like that? Dumping your life story on a random cab driver seems like a good plan. Yeah, you would think that you really shouldn't do that and everybody should be aware, but I'm sure it happens a lot more than should be reasonable. My girlfriend who lives in Canada. Yep. How are you doing? I guess it was uni keeping you away from Twitch. Oh, uni and internet issues. And being allowed to socialize a bit more. Yeah. As soon as they get too close to Strasbourg, I start making up stories. We've almost broken up 10 times. I convinced them we're trying to have a kid, but it hasn't worked yet. He sighs. Fuck. Saying it out loud is just the worst. His eyes even get shiny. I'm gay. A deep breath. I'm getting married in a few weeks. To my boyfriend. Another breath. Longer. Deeper. No one at work knows. Not a soul. The next sentences come out in a rush. He holds his breath the whole time. I like men. I've always liked men. But I work in a police station and listen to their comments, to their jokes all day long. When we catch a guy who's never done time before, we tell him briefly what he should expect. We talk about the violence, about the... Finally, he breathes in again. I say we because I'm in on it. Because I can say fag any time of day without any prompting. The word rolls off my tongue completely naturally. Fag. He finally looks you in the eye. They're not mean. Are they not? Who? He shakes his head. My colleagues. My colleagues aren't mean people. They're cops, not mean, just doing the job. He manages to flash a tiny, crooked smile. You know what I'd really like? He pauses. I'd like to have them over for dinner. Everybody on the squad. They could see my place. We could play a board game, something normal, you know? And they could meet James. I still don't believe it. His hands are shaking, visibly. It's crazy. Crazy. He smiles at last, a genuine smile. Can you believe it? We're getting married in 2 weeks. After living together for 9 years. For 9 years, he's been willing to live in a lie. What does this have to do with anything? Does he hold it against you? No. He gets how it is. He snickers. He's crazy about me and I'm crazy about him. He knows I love my job and I couldn't possibly do anything else. He loves me enough to let me keep lying. That sucks. He slowly shakes his head. But I can't go on like this. I have to. He freezes. Shit, my head is spinning. I don't feel so good. Why am I telling you all this? Why? He seems very preoccupied with this. I feel like somebody who's been on a killing spree might be less preoccupied with something else. Good old high school peer pressure, it never ends. Yeah, especially in these buddy jobs, right? Police, military, that kind of stuff. Football. He grabs onto the seat in front of him. Hey, can you pull over? You stop immediately. He opens the door and leans the top half of his body out. He throws up. You open your window to air out the greasy smell of fried crepe and the sour scent of cider. Man, this taxi is just a house of smells now. A moment later, the cop sits back up. Okay, I'm all set. Got it all out. You start driving again. I'm sorry, really. Breathe. Yeah, you're right. You nod while your passenger moans and quietly says, I'm sorry. Don't worry. He pauses to catch his breath. Shit. I haven't barfed like that since last Easter. They made me drink the South African liquor. Something with cream and cocoa. Nasty. I can still picture it. I was doing shots while they shouted my name. Karate Kid, Karate Kid. Karate Kid? He seems uncomfortable. It's my nickname on the squad. Homophobic and racist. Good cops. Karate? Yeah. I was a judo champion. And I'm a gook. Don't say that. So, he runs his hands along the sides of his body like he's showcasing it for the Home Shopping Network. So, Karate Kid. They're not mean though, you guys. Yeah, exactly. No, that they're assholes, but they're not mean. You just don't know them like I do. Yeah, I know, it makes no sense. It's racist. I'm not gonna say that, because this is his issue. And I'm trying to get him to talk as much as possible. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. It's racist. You remain silent. I can't argue with that. But I have to be okay with it because I'm stuck in the job. Hey. He stops. Oh, everything's spinning again. Can you... You pull over. A repeat of last time. He opens the door, leans his head out, his torso, his arms. The sound makes your stomach churn, so you stare straight ahead. Can I ask you a question? More puke on the sideway. A little inside the vehicle. Go ahead. Fine. Shoot. He sits up, prompts you to drive. So, here goes. What should I do? Should I keep on going on? Keep on keeping on? Should I confess? Should I invite them to my wedding and surprise them? He pauses. It's a long one. Be straight with me. What would you do if you were me? If you were in my shoes? I think you're being hard on yourself. You're hurting yourself rather than trying to solve the problem. You're not going to change your sexual orientation or leave your husband. So there aren't a ton of alternatives. Well, I mean, this might be the final resolution, right? See, I wasn't gonna make that joke, but fine. You have to tell them you have to leave here. No, I feel like first this, and then this, right? Of course, if they get hostile, you have to tell them. Tell them. Wow. I've got to tell them. That was a really creepy smile. They don't have smiling down in this game. He looks at you in the mirror. Can you take me somewhere else, if you don't mind? I don't mind. My colleagues are at the bar. I'll go see them. Tell them everything. Oh, right now. If I don't do it now, then I'll never do it. A smile of relief spreads across his face. It's not just the alcohol talking? Yes. But I think it's about the 10th time I've gotten wasted this month. Oof. You're right. I'm hurting myself. He gives you the new address. I need to tell them now. I feel terrible, but I think I'll feel better if I speak to them directly. Didn't you say he hadn't been wasted since Easter? Nice catch, but I think it was this wasted. Is that matcha tea? No, it's just water. It's just bubbly water with a fancy straw. It's not mate, mate. Bravery fueled by alcohol has never backfired ever. Well, true. But here, at least, it's not a. Well, at the root, it's not a stupid idea, right? His headache is apparently back and has knocked him out a bit. You're used to having drunk people in your cab. Actually, the majority of your Saturday night passengers are drunk. I don't know how to tell them about all this. From the tone of his voice, you can tell he's beginning to panic. I don't think I'm ready. Especially a confession to other drunk people seems fine. Yeah. True. Might be better left for, like, a brunch invitation or something like that. Should I turn around? Turn around? He scans your face, trying to figure out what you're thinking. You think that it's your decision. Good then. I want to go to the bar. He seems determined despite his shaky voice. I want to tell them about James. You were about to say something when he cut you off. My mind just made up. He smiles briefly and you turn back towards the bar. For the remainder of the trip, your passenger is silent. From time to time, he massages his temples. His headache is persistent. When he sees you watching him in the rearview mirror, he raises a hand. Everything's fine. It's cool. He smiles like someone slowly sobering up. That's a specific kind of smile? I didn't know. The descriptions in this game are very interesting sometimes. Worriness replacing the alcohol. Stress taking over giddiness. You stop the car. Your passenger waits for a second. Then all of a sudden, like he just woke up, he realizes you're at the bar. Already? Yes. He pays his fare, but is frozen in place. A piece of advice. Whew. All of these are good. Don't drink too much. Pay the first round. Tell them how you feel. Give them time. I feel like... So the thing inciting the issue here is also probably the thing that I would say makes tell them how you feel, though it is the right idea, not the best thing to focus on here. Don't drink too much is a bit preachy, I agree. Pay the first round, good idea for like, you know, making nice, and give them time. I feel like I'm gonna say pay the first round. You're leaning towards 4 and Zombie is saying the same thing. Yeah, I mean that's definitely the truest. Expect it not to go perfectly, yeah, and don't despair immediately. I'm between 2 and 4. Because it's also kind of jokey. Okay, let's do a vote. Everyone who's in chat right now, give me your favorite option out of 2 and 4, please. I have 2 for 4. Zombie and Shelag say 4. Hovering Headwear says 2. Tocheva, Marcus, 4. 4. Is that everyone? Is Hortix still here? Choose 3 if it's a draw. Okay. I'm gonna give 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I'm gonna wait for the 6-second delay. We're gonna go with 4. Give them time. Time? He seems surprised by your remark at first, but eventually nods. Yeah, I guess so. In any case, he flashes you a grin. Thank you. I don't quite remember what I said, but thank you. He jumps out of the taxi so quickly you'd think someone kicked him in the ass. You follow his stocky figure with your gaze. He goes into the bar, looks for his friends, and waves. You drive off. Well, let's see if we see him again. I think I'm gonna get some... What's this? Some gas. Because I don't quite have an idea of... It really doesn't deplete very quickly, but just in case, you know? You pull over and stop at a gas station. Not a soul in sight. La belle pompe. Doesn't that sound cute? The fluorescent lights irritate your eyes, and the smell of pee is wafting up from the space in between the pumps. It's self-service here. You pay directly at the pump. The mini-mart over there, it must sell newspapers. The person behind the counter must see and hear things. Might be worth asking a couple questions. This game sure loves smells. The thing is, that's a really cool, interesting remark. True. Smells do evoke feelings and associations though, right? So I don't think that's a bad approach. It's just that sometimes they go a little overboard. So yeah, describing a really weird smell or sound. What was that? Like the person made a sound like a bubble hitting the surface of a river? I'm still not sure what that's supposed to be, especially when it's described as a yelp. Like, a yelp is like a, you know? And then a bubble bursting on top of a river doesn't make a sound at all. But if it does, it sounds like, right? So what did he do? Like, I don't know. Howdy, Sportler. Welcome back. Does anyone smell guilty? Oh, that makes me think of, there was that movie in the 90s, Richie Rich, where they had that, somebody made this, like, smelling robot that could tell what a person had eaten last or something. Maybe that was just a colorful way to describe a burp. The olfactory nerve receptors are actually connected directly to the limbic system. Yeah, that's why, you know, you can smell a thing and then suddenly you remember a feeling about something that's like 10 years ago. And you wouldn't have been able to remember the smell or describe it still, but you smell it and immediately the feeling is back. It's really interesting. Anyway, this game is kind of hit or miss on describing smells. Let's say that. Bedtime again. I totally missed that. So, Alex, if you're still in the chat, good night. And if you aren't anymore, then I hope. Let's all send good night vibes to Zombie Flesh Cult. That's the sound of Dorf Romantic when you place a tile, yeah. Okay, so let's ask the clerk some questions. You sigh and get out of your taxi. That was a smell tangent. The cold grips you hard. The cold grips you hard. Oh man. You walk into the mini-mart. The clerk behind the counter is undoubtedly the most ordinary person you've ever seen. Yeah. Versailles. Newspaper. Joyeux sourire. Cash, cash, cash. I talk with the clerk. Have you read the papers? He's all they're talking about. Just an offhand comment, casually brought up about the serial killer. The guy behind the counter seems like he's interested in the case. New clue available in your room. Wait, what? I don't get to... Oh, I guess I have to read through what people said to me in my room, where I get limited time to look at the evidence. Let's buy a newspaper. Come back tomorrow. Alright, sir, we'll have today's paper ready for you tomorrow. Joyeux sourire. I don't really need that. I don't need any of these. Back. Bye. Bye. Good night, I guess. You nod and exit the shop. Why did I read it in that voice? You nod and exit the shop. Gas pump. Oh, I haven't done that yet. Okay. Okay. Oof. Alright. You get into your taxi and drive away. Let's pick someone new. Oh, it's another Instagram model. It's the Black Knight. Just a flesh wound. Let's pick up the Black Knight. Childeric de Brun.
Oh, my good friend, I need thee to ride forth. All right.
The car door opens. Your passenger enters wearing a rather heavy-looking suit of armor. The plate metal clanks as he settles in. What's that symbol on his? Is that the symbol for Taurus? I forget what the female symbol with the horns on it is. I forget. Oh no, I think it's one of the planets. Oh well, whatever. The horns seem dangerously close to the roof.
Where goest thou, my lord?
It looks like a planet. Yeah, which one is it? Is it Venus? I'm not sure. The knight recoils a little, perhaps in surprise.
Ah, taketh me not for thy superior, for I be'th lord to none. Yea, I am thy humble servant, just as thou art mine. In sooth, since thou asketh, ride onward, my friend, to Notre Dame, that most noble of Catholic cathedrals, the jewel of the most magnificent city of Lutetia. Aha!
We know what that is. We're educated. You nod and turn the key in the ignition. You start the cab at last. The vibration of the cab sets your passenger's armor jangling. From time to time, his sword makes a funny humming sound. Does he have a sword phone? Like a smartphone and a sword? The ride through Paris continues in silence. The city is just waking up. Delivery trucks, the first buses of the day, and half-asleep pedestrians fill the streets. Mercury. I guess it's that coconut season. No African swallows available. You feel a yawn creeping up your spine. I just have to read about yawning and I have to yawn. Your muscles tighten to prevent your mouth from opening. Your eyes glaze over. The ride continues in silence. From time to time, your passenger shifts positions, and so does his plate metal. You are nearing the streets around Notre Dame now. The knight leans in towards you.
Ah! The majestic towers appeareth yonder! What a tremendous sight! Ah, the marvel of it! Just think, it took dozens, scores of years to build it.
He looks out the window as you stop the cab.
My fellowship has cometh.
In the early morning light, you see a gathering of warriors and soldiers, of magicians and witches. What up, everyone? Hi, Big Beans. Have you been here before? Have I read from you before? I didn't remember. Either way, welcome. We're carrying a knight to Notre Dame. What's going on?
My comrades in arms, my sisters and brothers, we are all going to Fontainebleau for 3 days, for 3 moons. We will visit the forest of Brerun. I don't know how to pronounce that. Brerun, the birthplace of Throgal the Rash.
Your passenger is rummaging through his armor.
I know I put my wallet in here somewhere.
No, actually, that's probably he didn't say that with his knight voice. I know I put my wallet in here somewhere. He digs around for a minute, pinches a finger. Damn it! And eventually pulls out money for the fare. You watch as he tries to remove himself from the cab. First himself, bodily, helmet down so as not to damage the roof, next his sword with a clattering on the pavement, and lastly his shield, which no longer seems to fit through the door.
Good day, my dear fellow. Fare thee well.
The knight salutes you. You watch him as he joins a group of friends. There are cries of admiration all around. You recognize your passenger with the rabbit ears. What? He was in such a hurry.
He and the knight greet each other, compliments flying thick and fast. You turn the key in the ignition. Oh, he gave me 35 cents a tip. Why didn't Frodo just take a cab to Mount Doom? I was just thinking, insanity or LARPers or both. Sometimes the line is pretty fine, right? Haven't watched your stream before, but I've seen your YouTube lessons. They're super helpful. Oh, nice! You're one of the DFE crowd. Well, welcome very much. Glad you enjoy my lessons. And thank you for checking in. That's very lovely. Oh, man. Wait, what? You have met Phil. Wait, when did I spend this much money? I know I just spent 70 bucks on the gas, but beyond that, I don't know. Shit. I guess it's Paris. You take a few minutes, blah, blah, blah. That's the same thing as always. Okay, so I think these 3 dots mean that I can look at 3 pieces of evidence, right? Police report, police report. Oh! Ah. Huh. Spent bullet case. Oh, so this is a thing I got from the gas station. The victims were wealthy, which connects them to him because he's a homeless man. So obviously he'd shoot wealthy people. It could also be her then, right? Okay. So him we just met. Killer left message in chalk on first crime scene, no sign of violence. Cop. What cop? Him? I don't know. That's just... Whoa! No! Wait! Stop! In the name of love. Oh, not enough to... Okay, sure. Alright. Okay. Victims 2. Victim 2, stolen wallet. This is so... Man. So the assumption is that nobody would steal the wallet. Except for the hobo, right? Okay. Autopsy report, victim 3. That's only connected to him. Killer fought with victim 1. So what I want to know is, can I establish links? No. Okay, so the board always links stuff for me. Too tired trying to sleep to your voice in the background. Alright, have good luck falling asleep then, and thanks for checking in, Barath. Bye-bye. Good night. Killer's height. Taller than 180. What? And that's for victim number 1. Okay, so victim number 1 was killed by somebody who was apparently wearing high shoes. Okay, so all of these are 5 only suspects, right? And none of them. And this is victim number 4. Okay. So for victim number 4, all of them would be in the runnings.
For this one, technically nobody. Unless I guess they wore heels. The killer case, death, execution, killer left message in chalk, no sign of violence for victim number 3. Man, I don't have enough space. That's 4, that's 3, that's 2, that's 1. Okay, killer fought victim 1. Right. Murder is still the perfect crime.
Man, I don't know. This guy was like, at least, well, he must have been over 2 meters.
The phone rings and you jump. You're not used to hearing it. No one ever calls you. It must be Busset. You pick up. Busset sounds irritated. You there? Yeah. Listen, it's... She pauses. You suddenly hear a ruckus in the background, probably noise at the station. Busset raises her voice. Anyone got the time? Hey! Guys! Anyone? Fuck, they're all Neanderthals here. Listen, it's early and I'm wiped out. So are you, I bet. Let's get straight to the point. What do you have for me? In a calm and methodical voice, you start giving her the evidence you collected. You start with the first suspect, their connection to the victims, the rumors, and the second suspect, and so on. A few minutes in, she lets out a whistle. Not bad at all. Seriously, you should come give a lesson to the zombies I work with. A long sigh. I have some good news for you. We checked the alibi of one of the suspects I gave you. As you listen to her, you turn to the board and pull down the suspect she's referring to. So it's gotta be someone else. She snickers. You know how lucky you are. I'm doing your job for you, pal. No, actually, ma'am, it's the other way around. Just so we're clear. Okay, enough chit-chat. I gotta run. I'll call you in 2-3 days, okay? Okay. I'll call you in 3 days, and you'd better have what I need to make a proper arrest. The DA has fangs. We're pretty sure he's going to turn into a werewolf at some point. She babbles on for a while. Her voice becomes softer, but just as sarcastic. That would explain his terrible breath. Okay, I'm out. She hangs up. You hold the handset to your ear for a while. You have just one thing in mind, sleeping. And forgetting it all. Oh! Okay, the attorney's out. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You pull open the sofa bed, which unfolds with an unpleasant creak. You collapse onto the mattress. The events of the day. I think this is the same text every night, isn't it? I'm just gonna skip it then. You open one eye. You find your studio calming. There's something special about living in a garret, like yours is the last place before the sky starts. Get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're at night 4. Okay, a cat. I'd love to pick up the cat, but I don't think it's gonna give me information. And what are these? Like, I'm not sure. The first eye I went to was the informant at the embassy. And then the second eye I went to yesterday, there wasn't anything there, so. Cats don't make good tippers either. Yeah, right? I'm pretty sure it's a cat. You park your taxi across from the stadium, just a few meters from a 2-story building. It's an odd brick place that clashes with a huge concrete behemoth that is Charletti, I don't know, stadium. You get out of the car and walk to the front door. You knock. You wait a few minutes. Lights come on, and the door finally opens.
Marco appears. Marco is a former taxi driver. A strange guy, a bit spacey and different. He's been working at the stadium for a few years now. Well, shit, you're still alive? That's Marco. You like him. I mean, wow, so nice to see you. Even though he stole your wife. Come in. You want something to drink? Alright, you stop drinking. Cup of coffee? No thanks. You follow him into the caretaker's home. It's pretty nice, despite the mess and filth. He sits at the table and points for you to sit down as well. The only noise in the room is the TV behind Marco. Before you came by, he was playing a soccer video game. The fans are singing and clapping their hands. So, what have you been up to? Let's get straight to the point. I have some questions for you. He shakes his head. No, not yet. Man, seriously, no. Last time I helped you out, I lost my job, so the answer is no. You have no choice and you know it. You owe me this much. Marco drops his head between his shoulders. He starts to beg. I'm telling you, man, I love this job. It's so easy. I get to take care of a stadium that's empty 75% of the time. He sits up roughly in his chair. Behind him on the screen, the stadium is going wild. I need information on Ronan Besson. He straightens up. Ronan? The coach that got killed by the judge? The very one. He was a great guy. Everyone's torn up about it. Spit it out. Oh, there were rumors. Some parents heard he was a little too hands-on with the kids a while back, if you get my drift. But no one ever looked into it. Well, was it true? I don't know nothing. He sighs. A few months ago, Ronan cornered a kid, by the showers. You know what I mean? The kid stabbed him in the thigh with a pair of scissors and ran away. Well, good on him. Dang. The kid's parents weren't sure whether they'd file a complaint. The club's director brought Ronan in and bam, 2 days later, he was murdered. Who else knows this? About the kid? No one, I think. Well, maybe some other parents. I don't know. You get up. One last thing. I'm gonna give him the names of the victims. You list the victims. He doesn't react until you mention Charles Bougrain. Oh yeah, him. I know him. I mean, everybody knows him. Right-wing extremist son of a bitch. Hold on. What are you doing these days? I can't say. Marco sits up. Damn it. I'm gonna get fired. Easy. His voice speeds up. Don't tell anyone where you got this information, okay? Don't worry. Yeah, I've heard that before. A vuvuzela noise comes from the TV. Oh, it's FIFA 010. Okay, I've got to run. He walks you to the door, mumbling with clenched teeth. Every time I run into you, you jinx me. Every single time. You walk outside and over to your taxi. Door, key, motor purring. You go back to work. Okay. Got a couple more eyes, so I think I'll just go check those out. Since they're close too. The police archives look like any other building in Paris. No sign, nothing to make it stand out. But this is where all the case files and criminal records are stored. You know the place well. For several months you spend a lot of time with the woman who directs it. She was a regular passenger, calling upon you almost every night. First as a driver, and then you can see her shape from across the street. You try to prevent your brain from going there, but it has a mind of its own. She's as beautiful as ever. You get out of the cab.
You cross over to the sidewalk on the other side. I'm not going to lie, I was surprised by your request. She lights a cigarette. She still has that cold, distant look about her. But you know it's just a facade. You don't smoke anymore? Is this gonna change anything about how we... I don't want her to feel like I'm like being high and mighty, right? I'm better, I'm quitting. So let's just make her feel comfortable, I guess. The first waft of nicotine and gas from the lighter. Heaven. She runs a hand through her hair. Her wedding band shines under the street lamp. You're freezing. Listen, I'm sure you know I'm not allowed to give you this kind of information. But if what you said was true, then you get the impression she's reaching for your side. You have any information for me? Yes, sorry, of course. I fished around, and the first 3 victims were not part of the data leak. Shit. Shit indeed. That means the information about Besson, Beaugrand, and the Argentinian one, Goradisher. Oh, that's the name. Yes, that's it, Goradisher. It all came from someone who had access to their criminal records. That helped? You nod. Bits of ash from your cigarette sprinkle into your pants. Okay, that's an interesting detail. You attempt to smile. Yes, it's better than nothing. A moment of silence. Hélène takes a drag of her cigarette like there's no tomorrow. She paces a bit to warm herself up. You should come over sometime. What do you think? You grin. You and Hélène used to sleep Oh, you don't say! That was so subtle! The description before. Really? I had no idea that was what you were getting at. Sorry, had to be a dick for a second, but it's so like... You used to sleep together. Sex? When things with her husband weren't so good. Hold on, I gotta allow this comment. The Twitch bot filtered you out. Isn't that so wholesome, Shelag? Yeah, so anyway, they used to sleep together. Big surprise. When things with her husband weren't so good. This context with this emoticon attached to it is just too filthy to be kept on the loose. Oh, yes. Seems like it. I will say, like, right now, it's probably not the best idea to, like, get into trouble, especially with somebody connected to the police, even if she's just working at the archives. So we'll be the strong, silent type. She'll probably, with how they're building up this character, and since all the characters here are so, well, let's say a little bit predictable, she's probably available to play games, so if I say no now, she gonna come back in the future. That won't be a good idea. She turns her head away in a soft, graceful motion. Of course, I don't know why She looks deep into your eyes. You look down. Her hands are shaking. One last smile, and she puts her cigarette out. You do the same. I've got to run. Thank you. You're welcome. It's the least I can do. She reaches out to you affectionately, then stops. You decide to cross the street, to put some distance between you as quickly as possible. When you get to your cab, you hear her saying something. She's yelling from across the street. Also, you should stop smoking. It's bad for your health. You wave. She goes back into the archives. You get in your cab and rub your hands together. Time to get back to your shift. It really wants me to pick him up, right? I guess I'll do that. Means I'm not gonna make any money again, but... I forgot his voice. Fuck. I forgot the voice I gave him. Dang it. I need a ride, Kebby. The door opens. It's Hervé. He greets you with his bizarre verbal tick as usual. Hey, good to see you again, Jen. I think that was the voice. Hi, Hervé. You start the engine. The passenger in the back seat is whistling a funny tune. He's in a pretty good mood. You look good? Yeah, thanks. Some days are like that. Everything goes your way, eh? Belly's full, your buddies are around to help you, you're not cold. He gives you a smile. And then you know, you get good news. Oh, really? Really. Something you're glad to hear. Well, out with it then. Well, it's my ex-wife. She just got married again, Nan. Real love story and all that. Just the way I like him. How did you find out? She sometimes comes around with stuff for me. She told me. She was embarrassed. She gave me a blanket, a few books, some canned food, ravioli. Does she do that often? Yeah, from time to time, when she comes to Paris. In the rearview mirror, your passenger's face clouds over as if what he was saying had just sunk in. Suddenly, between clenched teeth, he hisses, "Whore." You look up. Really? Huh? Oh, I thought you said something. No, He gives you a toothy grin. Suddenly, Hervé opens the cab door. You can pull up over here. I don't want you to get into any trouble. The guys in the squat can be a little on edge. You park the car and Hervé opens the door. Good night. Thanks again, Kent. He gives you a smile. A moment later, Hervé vanishes inside a graffiti-covered building. Its imposing Art Deco facade mesmerizes you for a moment. And then you start the cab. Okay, that was a weird one. Time to make some money. No newspaper available. Oh, I probably should have read the newspaper I bought last night, huh? Oh well. Who dis? Far away. I don't know. None of these people are my suspects, so I'm just gonna go to a close one. Oh, another one to Tern. Who was it who went to Tern before? I forgot. A beautiful woman climbs into your cab. There is something sensual and comforting about her. No, I just missed it. But don't worry, I'm taking a cab. Anyhow, I just wanted you to know. For a minute, you think she's talking to herself, but she leans over and whispers her address to you. I think you really enjoyed it today. As you start the cab, you notice a hands-free headset practically hidden by her thick head of hair. I'll massage his feet tomorrow, and I'll let you do the rest. A small laugh escapes her. Or the other way around, sure. And, Cruz? It's normal to feel a little awkward at first, or uncomfortable. I mean, not knowing what to do. But you'll see. A couple more days, and you'll get the hang of it. Anyhow, you should get to bed now. You need to keep up your strength. She stopped talking. Her phone call is over. She catches your eye in the rearview mirror and bursts out laughing. You look shocked. This interaction confuses me? Not at all. Your passenger crosses her legs and gives you a playful pout. I don't believe you. You're letting your imagination run wild. What exactly were you imagining? That I'm on my way home from a threesome or something? There's a mischievous gleam in her eye. Could be. She lowers her gaze and turns her head, serious all of a sudden. But I'm not. The truth isn't that rosy. Actually, I was at my son's house. I've been taking care of him since his accident. I'm a nurse. Oh, sorry. Don't be. You had nothing to do with it. She pauses dramatically. At least I don't think you did. You don't happen to drive a semi in your spare time, do you? A smile of dry amusement flickers across your passenger's face. Anyway, he's been in a coma for weeks now. Grade 2. Not a total vegetable, but not at all that hardy either. So I had to move him to his place. Cruz and I are taking care of him now. Cruz? His fiancée. A lovely girl. Your passenger puts her hand to her mouth to smother her giggle. Totally inhibited, but sweet. Very religious. She prays in Spanish at his bedside every night. That's one of her suspects, right? Pretty sure that's one of her suspects. They've been going out for 2 years now, and I still don't think they've... Well, you know. A brief silence. You find yourself trying to think of something to say. How long have you been a nurse? A frown creases your passenger's forehead. If that's a roundabout way of asking how old I am, you lose. You start to apologize, then realize she's burst out laughing again. You're cute when you blush. I'll celebrate my 20th anniversary at the hospital in August. I started a few months after Tituan was born. I was young and attractive back then. This is kind of nice, but it's also kind of weird from a taxi driver. But it's also rude to not comment on it at all. Or just not say anything. I hate all of these options. All of them are awkward. Yeah. She seems like someone with a sense of humor. You still are. Okay, she's just gonna ignore it. She's kind of on that topic. Is she though? I feel like that's the first time she's mentioned it. What about you? How long have you been driving a cab? Not the most fashionable job in the world. And worse still, it affects your better judgment. She bursts into laughter. I don't get that one. Anyway, you're lucky you ran into me and not Cruz. She's so uptight she wouldn't have known what to do with herself. You want me to tell you something funny? Earlier tonight, when Cruz and I were washing Tituan, not exactly a pleasure cruise. My son is well over 6 feet tall and Cruz is a cross between a matchstick and a Q-tip. So I was managing as best as I could, rolling him onto one side and then the other. She was trying to help, though the truth is, it's pretty hard for her to take. I mean, it's all new to her. It can't be that much fun. I mean, you're her mother. Like, I'm sure, yeah, you have experience on the job, but like... Anyway. So, she was muttering religious mumbo-jumbo to herself in Spanish, Dios mío, and whatnot. And just as I was rolling Tituan back onto his back, guess what? He got an enormous erection. Oh, an enormous one, okay. For once, you start to laugh. Your passenger joins in. The two of you enjoy a good long laugh. After a while, your passenger manages to catch her breath. A big old hard-on! How did Cruz react? Well, first she turned bright red, and then she pulled the sheet up over him as fast as she could. Your passenger marks a short pause to emphasize what's coming. But it looked even worse! Just like Casper the Ghost! Peals of warm laughter filled the air. For a moment you were happy, as if a weight had been lifted. You pull up to the address she had given you. You stop the cab, and she hands you the fare. Thanks for the conversation. The ride went by really fast. She reaches for the door, then stops. You can sense she's really on edge. It's good to be able to talk. It's pretty unusual in Paris to meet someone so warm. A pause. She's observing you, perhaps waiting for an answer. Well, good night. A slight nod, like a promise. You too. Good luck tonight. She shuts the door carefully, then walks away. Your eye follows her as she climbs the steps of the door to her the steps to the door of her building. A moment later, she's gone. You feel something surfacing. Dark thoughts, pictures, memories. The bed sores she talked about. You notice a newspaper on the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind. Or the one before. You grab it and put it away. Could come in handy. You turn the key in the ignition and drive away. Alright, let's check out the newspaper, I guess. It's only 1 a.m. 1 in the a.m. You pull a newspaper out of your glove compartment and you start leafing through it. Eventually something grabs your eye. It's a photo of the French soccer team. Who cares? Vanuatu. You have no idea where Vanuatu is. You're trying to mention it up. You've read about it started the newspaper. Keep reading. You stop reading, go blah, blah, blah. It's just a few lines. A funny anecdote. A man disguised as Santa Claus had to be taken off the roof of a building by firemen. He was highly inebriated and stated he did not know how he had gotten there. You only have a third left to read. As soon as you get to the page, you stop. Your instincts tells you to look at. It's a short article mentioning the strike led by a handful of employees of Confiserie du Marin, a luxury candy brand. The employees demand better wages. The owners, the Groupe Diamant, are threatening to relocate their factories abroad. You shut the paper. It'll end up in the trash tonight. If you remember, it's there. Otherwise, we'll blah blah. Okay. Who's next? He could be a journalist. Maybe he knows things. And he looks... Oh, let's go for angry, fat old white guy. A few cars are headed towards Paris, probably commuters from the suburbs rushing to get to the office. Vincent. How do you pronounce Vincent in French? Is it Vincent? Because that doesn't sound nice. Bourrier. I need a man I can trust. Okay. The man getting in your cab seems anxious. You've seen these types before. Oh, there's a big head. Late for a meeting, late to catch a plane, late getting home. He gives you an address in the 15th arrondissement. You recognize him. A former deputy or senator. I knew it! This had to be a politician. Something like that. He looks at you nervously in the mirror. He's upset about something. Everything all right, sir? Yes, fine, thank you. His eyes are watering. He runs a hand across his damp forehead. He's sweating a great deal for a winter night. He clears his throat. Excuse me, I was wondering... Yes? Do people ever leave things in your taxi? All the time. Ah, all the time, that's good to know. He pauses and attempts to pull himself together. He looks cramped in his suit. And what do you do with the things people forget? Do you keep them? We take them back to the central office and wait for someone to claim them. Oh, shit. I mean, fine. Very good. How civil of you. Good job. He pauses again.
Do you need anything?
Well, yes. No, what shall I say? I need to lose something, if you get my drift. I need to lose it in your taxi.
I don't understand.
Sorry, I owe you an explanation. I just got out of a meeting. It was awful.
Sighing to himself, he adds,
Awful. I've always been loyal to the party, you know. I've always followed orders, gotten the job done. My mother was a card-carrying member, my father an elected official. But I just can't do it anymore. I'm going to leave my briefcase here on the back seat.
A moment goes by. He stares at you.
Jackpot! You might say it was an oversight, you see.
And then what happens?
And then someone will take care of the briefcase. When you drop the taxi off, bring the briefcase to the head office. Someone will come pick it up.
He takes a deep breath.
This country we live in is going to hell in a handbasket. Everyone running it is corrupt. They've sold out. They are thieves. All of them.
He slowly lays the briefcase beside him.
We have lunch with lobbyists, dinner with bankers. We should burn everything, start over from scratch. Sometimes I dream we'll all get sick, be swept away by a political plague. A flu for suits.
He pauses, exhales, shakes.
I can't bear to see them spend 600 euros on a meal when they just decided to close a hospital that suddenly became too costly to maintain. 6 months ago, we refused to vote for a law that would have prevented the building in Pantin from burning down. Do you remember? 6 months ago, we could have saved 75 people.
He stumbles over the next words.
The public housing minister. When we presented that bastard with the bill, he burst out laughing. As if the people living in those crumbling buildings were just peons.
The passenger groans as if in pain and suddenly stops talking. What are you going to do now?
I'm going to sleep. Then they'll send me to prison. Or worse, to a forest ward. Some overseas territory. Guyana or something like that.
He struggles to swallow.
That's what they do to traitors. And after that, we'll see. Tomorrow's another day, if you know what I mean.
Silence.
Stop the car. Act as if everything is normal.
You park along the sidewalk. You suddenly notice your client smells terrible. Sour, pungent BO, almost unbearable. He pays his fare and slips you an extra bill.
Your compensation.
He gets out and walks away quickly without turning back. You open the window to air out the cab. So many smells! Oh, it's $40 tip. Okay, guess that's it. Oh, look, it's one of the suspects. Let's see. I don't think we've met him yet, have we? What is up with my lipstick? My lips look janky. Eh.
It's Paul-Marie Fragonard, Hôpital Saint-Louis. Please.
Your next passenger is your suspect, the retired policeman. Judging by his looks, you could have easily guessed. Oh god, someone's having a bad night, yeah. I need another male voice. Hôpital Saint-Louis, please. You nod your head and start the engine. You glance at your passenger. Same expression, same clothes. Some things never change. He looks grumpy, in a bad mood.
He's holding a cigarette between his fingers and has almost broken it several times.
Tough morning? He shrugs. No more than usual.
His tone makes it clear there is no room for discussion. You let it drop. A bit further, construction workers are bustling about, tearing down some storefront.
Oh, so yeah, they're finally taking that down? What was it before? When I first came to Paris, it was a thrift store. You could buy pants there for just a few francs. But for years, it's been a sex shop. One of the first in Paris, actually. I think they filmed some famous movie there.
He sighs.
That was all before the internet. Now, online. Yeah, they're probably going to put in a cell phone shop. Or one that sells electronic cigarettes. Go figure.
He pauses. Your passenger turns around. He watches the building grow smaller as the taxi drives away.
I'm surprised it stayed open for so long. I mean, since that hostage situation, it must have attracted some shady fellas. The kind who like to jerk off where 2 cops got taken out.
2 cops?
Yeah. They didn't talk about it much at the time, though. You'll understand why. We got calls from the neighbors of the sex shop. They couldn't stand the noise anymore. Day and night, people going in and out. Most of the time, they were quiet, but there were always noisy ones.
Wait, is a sex shop... Is it a brothel or a sex shop? Oh, it's a sex shop with booths. Okay. And the booths were in soundproof.
After a few months, the woman upstairs knew all the films.
Okay.
There were some high society types there. The shop had a few films for gay people, for single women, the cream of the crop.
No pun intended. His attention is caught by something outside for a second.
Okay, so anyway, one evening, one of the neighbors takes his daddy's rifle from its wall mount and goes outside. He fires a warning shot that breaks part of the front window, then goes in. The guy had bloodshot eyes and was foaming at the mouth. He demanded the owner close the shop immediately. Said he wanted to sleep, to cleanse the earth of these perverts. The fellow was basically having a psychotic episode in front of about 15 clients. We got there about 10 p.m.
Evacuated the street, got the response team ready.
And back then it wasn't like it is today, you know, with helmets and tiny cameras and those little flying whatchamacallits.
Kites!
Whee! Drones?
Your passenger snaps his fingers.
Yeah, that's it. Drones. Yeah, so back then they didn't have any of that stuff. The plan was to just go in and take pot shots at everyone. My chief, great guy, told me everything I know. Well, almost. He took the megaphone and started talking to the hostage taker. He told him he needed to let the civilians go or someone would get hurt, and no one wanted anyone to get hurt. The hostage taker said, "Okay, let me see, I'll free the woman first." He went back in. We got ready, put on our bulletproof vests, checked our weapons. It looked like we were getting ready for an old-style duel. What nobody knew was that there were 2 fellow cops inside already in the crowd. They were not interested in being released. Since the hostage situation started, they'd been trying to find a way to escape out the back. He snickers. They were ashamed to be there. They said to themselves that they could approach the hostage taker and tell him they'd infiltrated the building before the police officially got there. But the guy with the rifle was not a newbie. He was a Boy Scout, and his father had taught him how to fight. A dry laugh. His father fought the Nazis. He wanted to fight the hippies. Classic. You could see the 2 cops were a bit worked up, were speaking in hushed voices, so he pulls one of them aside and decides to let him go. Policeman flounders, asks the hostage taker to take one of the 4 women in the shop instead of him, but he won't have it. So there we were outside when, all of a sudden, out came Michel, the deputy chief of police. His shirt was untucked and he had a stupid look on his face. And then, the guy behind me starts laughing. Hostage taker fired. First time in my life I saw a skull from the inside. Brains and blood strewn all over the sidewalk. I tossed my cookies.
I'd only been on the force for 2 years, you understand. You don't need to explain yourself or puking when you see somebody's head blown up right in front of you, but that's okay. He sniffles. I wouldn't have wanted to change places with the guy behind me who was laughing. We never knew who it was. There were a lot of rumors. Even one saying it was me. He's silent for a moment, but it wasn't. I didn't know Michelle, for starters. Not well, anyway. He shrugs and falls silent again. You let a few seconds go by. How did it turn out? Badly. While we were all puking our guts out, the cop inside tried to be a hero. He tried to take down the perp and instead got lead pumped into his femoral artery and... well, how shall I put this? Well, our brother spent 6 weeks in intensive care before he croaked. As for the hostage taker, I think he must be out of jail by now. A real psycho, high on all sorts of pills. Not a pretty sight. They redid the sex shop after, and since then anyone from the squad who came in always got a little discount. You pull the car up in front of the hospital and your passenger pays. It's the least you could do when you think about it. Never been myself. Actually, I avoided even going down that street so I wouldn't have to think about that day again. It was almost like a bouquet of poppies. Big red and black flowers. He pauses. It's odd that I think of poppies considering what they mean. You know, each flower is a symbol, has a meaning. I believe the poppy symbolizes peacefulness. I'll have to check. My ex-wife left me a book about it. Don't know why I held on to it. His eyes wander. Yep. He sits up. Alright, I'm off. He gets out of the car and walks toward the hospital. His figure blurs into the darkness. For a second, you think he might have stopped. He disappears into the hospital. You drive off. Okay. Ah, night's over. Okay. Company cut. Oh, this is where it tells me. Okay. Well. Broke even at least. Okay. Let's patch together our clues and then we'll call it a night, both in-game and out of game. Your neighbor flushes the toilet. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see the pipes shake. You crack your knuckles and get to work. Okay. So, he's out. Can I delete this somehow? No. I don't want to end the night. Right. So this is the information we got from the archive, right? So somebody must have had inside information. Rare gun used in the 70s, stolen wallet, victim's healthy. I think this, this is a kind of a thin evidence situation, I feel like. Victim 3, no death for tortured prisoners, matches. Oh no, Claudia Campos. Who was Cruz? Did we meet her already? I feel like we met somebody named Cruz. Well, it's not our suspect anyway. I knew all of these already, didn't I? And I don't have anything else? I don't have anything else. Right, we got this one. That doesn't point to anyone in particular either, though. Especially not without knowing about anyone's connection to that. What was he, like a coach? Yeah, a coach. So this is victim 3, victim 1. And let's move victim 1 here, I guess. It's not ideal, but... Killed in only spot without CCTV. Okay, so none of these are especially helpful. Oh right, this is another clue that leads to RV, which I think is also a pretty thin thing, because this is apparently about the Richtidin thing, about the harmful medicine, because both of these are involved with some Richtidin death. I'm not entirely sure on that one still. Okay, I don't think I can surmise anything from anything here. Oops. So I'm gonna just end it. This is all known info. This is all fluff that we read every night. You don't quite know where you are anymore. To be completely honest, you are lost. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. Just when you're about to fall asleep, you think you hear a voice in the distance. Oh. Okay, I don't know who's saying this, so... She's not telling you the whole truth. You jump, without understanding where the voice is coming from. Outside, Paris is waking up, and you fall asleep. Okay, I think this is the next day, and even if it isn't, we'll find out next time. Except I can't quit. In a few minutes, yeah, okay. But we'll continue here next time. It's not gonna let me quit. Ah, there we go. Okay, finally worked. So, that's it for tonight. We got through 2 additional nights, according to the cop, who gave us this wonderful job opportunity. We have 2 nights left to get everything figured out. I'm not sure I'm doing this right. I'm still a bit confused by the evidence system, because right now I am not able to draw any conclusions from my board. And I find the fact that the game automatically connects stuff for me, while it is sort of convenient, sometimes I'm just more confused by it. So we'll see how all of that turns out. I'll see if I can stream tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, maybe. I have to check what's on the agenda, but I definitely prefer it not to be another 3 weeks. So fingers crossed my internet situation stays as it is for the moment. Also completely confused, don't know where it's gonna go, so there's that. Yeah, so at least I'm not the only one. If we go down, I guess we all go down together. Yeah, I don't want to come to any conclusions about the game yet. We'll finish the first case and then we'll have a little talk about it. I'm finding it interesting. Anyway, thanks for joining me tonight, and I'll see you next time. Hope you had fun. I certainly did. And always glad to see so many people in chat. Need to catch up on the past stream. Game looks interesting. Hello and good night. Oh, Bam on your face. I'm sorry. It came in a bit too late. But yeah, the VOD will be available. The VOD will be available on my YouTube as always. You can check out the VOD, and hopefully you'll be able to be here next stream. Good night, everybody. And thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Bye.